It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's the Glute Guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Glute Guys Network. I'm Dr. Aaron. Today we have another special guest, Jake Maglione. He is a two-time pro in classic and normal physique bodybuilding. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Excited to get this going.
Yeah, Jake, we're excited to kind of take a dive into your fitness journey and hear what how your story started and where it kept going with the two-time pros in your category. So let's start off first. How and when did you start lifting?
So I started around 17. Reason being is I always say this in a certain way where all my friends went to like real college. They went to universities. They left the area. So I had to kind of entertain myself. I went to OCC. It was still a great college. Nothing against OCC at all, but it was local. All my friends were away. So I needed something to kind of just do between work and school. So one friend, Liam, that I worked at Surf Taco with at the time, he was a big avid lifter. So I started going to the gym with him. Found out I was decently good at it from the start. Fell in love with it. Was working out consistently for 3 years until I turned 20. Then I got approached at the gym by the owner of NutriShop, which is a supplement store next to Crunch Fitness where I was working out at. And they approached me about potentially getting into actually bodybuilding itself. So getting approached is always nice. I'm very confident enough in my own to kind of go out there and seek people's approval to be like, I know I'm good enough for this. So it was really nice that they came up to me and they sponsored me. They paid for my supplements. They paid for my entry fees into the shows. So my first show, won first overall. Didn't get a pro card because the show was too small as far as amount of people in it. So I did, all in all, I think I did 4 or 5 shows. Won my 2 pro cards in my second show, and I was 21. And then I competed for 3 more shows after that. Got paid some money. When you're finally a pro, you get the first place. You do win some money, which is nice. And then I had to quit at a certain point because I had to start working full time and pay off my student loans. And unfortunately, it's a lot of time dictated just for lifting. You had to do cardio in the morning, have to work, you had to work out, and sometimes you had a PM cardio session as well. So it's like a full-time job on top of the meal thing, which is a whole other animal. And at that time, between I was 17-ish until I was 22, I worked at a gym. So it was super convenient. I did an AM cardio, worked from like 6 to 12, I guess, worked out from 12 to 4. Then I took night classes from 5 to 10. And I just repeated that pretty much every day. So it was convenient for me. So I optimized. I was struck while the iron was hot. Had the opportunity, took it, and I still utilize everything I kind of learned at that time, even now, years later, since I've retired. That's right, age 24.
Yeah, that definitely builds a good foundation for the rest of your life, for sure.
Yeah,
it's good discipline. For sure. And you build good habits, you build relationships with people as well at the gym, online, people reaching out to you. So it kind of builds that bridge to kind of have a conversation with someone else to talk about, and you never stop learning. So people that reach out to me, whether it be online or in person, we shoot the crap, talk about ideas, and then we go on from there. So the foundation of going to the gym is first and foremost disciplinary. Force you to get out of the house, force you to do work on yourself. It's also the social aspect as well. And like I said, you never stop learning. There's always something else to be taught.
It teaches you a lot of like discipline and stuff like that with it all, of course, and staying on top of all of it. And it's, you hear guys talk about it all the time at the gym, saying like, how like bodybuilding, like it's a lot of work, but I don't think a lot of people realize exactly how much work it is. It's not just like, okay, I'm going to the gym for an hour, I'm going to do this. Like, no, there are certain levels of it that people don't even recognize, like the AM and PM running. Like they're constantly working out. Like you said, it becomes a full-time job.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So I had my time, but
yeah, especially the nutrition part of it too. Making sure you eat enough.
I have pictures and videos on my phone while I was in prep, and everything from when I got up in the morning to when I fell asleep, everything was weighed out, measured out in Ziploc bags, and portion control. Timing was very important, obviously, from when you work out, when you're going to take in your next calorie. And even to this day, I still weigh out everything I eat. Obviously, it's not as specific as it used to be. Like I'm eating pineapple now. I had to weigh my pineapple before, but now I can just kind of eat it freely. But I still weigh out all my ground turkey, all my chicken, all my rice to a daily basis. Every day I can weigh out. I still weigh out. I'm not competing at all. It just keeps me, first of all, it keeps my budgeting smart, which is one thing I keep in mind. Like meal prepping is expensive because of the food you need to eat, but having the discipline in keeping everything scaled out does help your budgeting for food. So you're not going out eating as often. I never eat out. I never order DoorDash. If I can't weigh it, I'm 90% of the time not eating it. I think that's Tommy. I've brought Tupperwares of food with me to like when we're
I was about to bring it up and be like, the viewers don't know it, but Jake and I have been good friends for a very long time. And I know the Tupperware days, all of a sudden I look over and Mans is eating like beef jerky or like a Rice Krispie treat. And I'm like, oh, what is this? You're like, don't worry about it. And it's like, he's got to get the calories in. I was like,
yeah, get the calories in before I destroy my liver. It's fine.
Hey, but at least the calories are in.
It's a balancing act.
I was always so jealous when I'd look over and he's taking like 2 Rice Krispie treats out. I'm like, I want to ask him for one bite. I know he needs them for his calories.
I used to bring a fanny pack with me out, and I used to rock a Rice Krispie treat and an RX bar in there for emergency calories, so I wouldn't binge on bad tacos at 2 in the morning. Like, oh, Krispie treat, quick calories.
Dude,
load them
you
up.
got me addicted to the. You can get them at Wawa, the corn nuts. I freaking love the corn nuts.
Oh yeah, and that's just from work.
Why can't I figure out what a corn nut is?
They're high in sodium, which is a little iffy, but they are they're a good little solid snack to have. They're delicious.
It's really bad when I destroy a bag, but they also hurt your jaw when you're chilling. I'm like, I'm building up jaw muscles with this thing too. Goddamn.
Get the chisel jawline, man. You think
exactly.
That gum?
Summer's coming up. You need this. You need that.
I get this cleaned up.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I have the beard to hide my jawline.
It's there. It's just hidden.
Yeah.
Well, the good part about the beard is you can also use it to help the jawline, which is like, okay, I can like buzz it up, and it looks like I've got it, but we're faking it.
Never grow a beard. That'd be clean cut. I haven't watched that for a while, but.
Aaron, grow out the beard long and give yourself like the crimson chin.
You know, I would love to, but my wife would not love it. So there's just not much I can do about that.
Do for No Shave November. That's your excuse. But listen, honey, I'm sorry. I care about men's prostate. I can't shave my face. I need this.
But Jake, so now even post bodybuilding, you're still keeping up with some of these habits and weighing stuff out too.
Yes, no, for sure. It's obviously it's not as extreme as it once was, clearly, but it's a good habit to get into. Obviously, the monetary value is huge, but just knowing what your body's taking in is decently healthy for you. I mean, obviously on the weekends, I get a cheat meal here and there, but I hate processed food. I cook everything myself. I have this meal for every day for years. I just changed the protein, my weight, my weight of it. So in the winter when I'm bulking, I used to have 10 ounces, 150 grams of rice. In my cut, I take about 6 to 8 ounces and 70 grams of rice. So I just eat the same thing. I just change the quantities throughout the year.
Yeah, I don't think people realize sometimes how much they're actually eating until you actually track what you're eating too.
Oh yeah.
I know in college, I used to be a lot heavier, and I had no idea anything of what I was eating until I finally started tracking. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, so that's why I'm 300 pounds.
It's like a quick reality check. It's like you don't realize it, like you said, until you put it into paper. It's like, wow, like I'm adding all these calories up. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Calories.
Like the first
we even
thing
talked about just like salad dressings, how much like calories salad, like the dumbest stuff adds so many calories to your meal.
Especially the creamy dressings.
The good ones, you mean the good ones?
Yeah, pretty much the rule is if it's really good, it's probably bad for you. It's just with all the flavoring. They make it taste good for a reason. So like whenever I choose for food, I check the ingredients first, and I always check. I avoid high fructose corn syrup at all costs. Saturated fats, I try to avoid at all costs if I can. Trans fat, nothing has trans fat. So anything that's processed or artificial flavors you can't really avoid. It kind of just throw them in everything. Pre-workout has and all that. You gotta bring in a grain of salt. You can't be perfect, but I think it's all about making smarter decisions and finding alternatives to like ranch. You make your own ranch with dill and Greek yogurt, and all of a sudden it's third of the calories, higher protein, and it tastes exactly the same. So it tastes a little bit more work, but it's worth it in the end because the amount of calories you save is just exponential.
Oh yeah, that's what like Holly and I have started doing too, just kind of changing out recipes and whatnot. We've like gone very organic too, just so we know like okay, everything in it isn't really used or made rather with like a lot of the chemicals and additives and stuff as well too. So that's been a big jump in our diet as well. But
So
let's talk a little bit about the diet part of your bodybuilding. Now, there was probably like peak versus like on season versus off season.
Yeah.
How did that change with your training?
So it's funny when I was in my usual working out, like about 2-3 months beforehand, I was everything weighed out. The usual, it wasn't that bad. So that time, once you get over the meal prepping time that it takes and grocery shopping twice a week and doing all of that, it's really not that bad. You have to get over the initial hunger you're going to go over because you have to start obviously losing weight and slimming down a little bit. And you're increasing your cardio and you're exhausting more calories in the day, you tend to get hungrier, but you can't satisfy that hunger because you have to keep your calories low. So that wasn't as bad. Now, peak week and 2 weeks before the actual show is hell. That is the worst time. Anyone will tell you, and everything looks delicious. You can't have it, and your calories get cut exponentially, and your water gets cut. So you're thirsty, you're hungry, you're just trying to survive, and you're eating pretty much cucumbers, monk fruit, coffee, just to satisfy, just to get something in your system throughout the entire week. I went down to I want to say 800 calories probably 2 weeks beforehand. And I had all trust in my coach at the time. So I had two coaches. My latter coach was incredible. Kyle Wilkes. Everyone knows who he is. He was a superstar come to being a coach. He knew everything down to a science. He told you everything day in, day out, what you need to have. And I got to the point where I was just, if he said jump, I didn't ask how high, I just jumped. Like whatever he put in paper, I listened to it to a T. So obviously at that point, when you have a coach, you're you're a result of what he taught you. So as good as you're going to look, as you can go in confidently knowing that my coach put this product in front of him onto stage. So he was confident in my show. I was confident in the show as well. And so it's tricky. It's definitely a tricky thing. I had a coach beforehand try cutting my carbs, which is a big thing. Everyone has this vendetta against carbs, and we tried cutting carbs. I looked flat. My workouts were complete crap. Energy was depleted. Not having a good time. It was miserable. So I had to tell him I need carbs just to stay satisfied. And we did that earlier on, so we were able to change it. My body reacted well to it. We went on from there. So everyone's body reacts differently to different foods, obviously. Also, the kind of body shape you have, ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph, I think the three. So I think it depends on where your body stores the fat. So my body likes carbs. Not everybody's body likes carbs. It all depends what carbs you're taking in. And my second coach, Kyle, that I had, we went through. I started prep. I think it was in November, and my show was in May. So I had 7 months of prep time. So we were able to change my diet periodically throughout the prep to see how my body changed. So if my body looked really good the next day, we're going to keep that going for a little bit. If it went south really quick, we're going to modify, we're going to tweak this. And it was just a constant trial and error. And that's one of my favorite things about bodybuilding as a sport is the diet manipulation that you get into, because you don't really understand, you don't gauge yourself and your body until you have to change the food you take in to see how your body reacts. And it's like night and day. So I had no carbs. Everything sucked. I was a mean person to deal with, very irate. When I had carbs, happy as a clam, ready to rock. So you can really tell what carbs and what foods work well for your body. And that's just a fun thing to do. I mean, you could change the weights one day and see your body react 3 days later. And then you kind of go from there and you find a sweet spot. And then you can kind of just keep that going. And you do the same thing every day so consistently. You change one thing, body reacts. That one thing you changed was the reason why that happened, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, a little more bloat, a little less bloat, a little more lean, whatever it could be. That one thing, it's a fun sport to get into because you really get in tune with your body and how it reacts just to food. And you realize the importance of food is on anyone's diet. So it's incredible.
And that is
those are things that you don't
interesting.
really think about.
Yeah, I was going to say
Sorry,
pretty much the same thing. Like the little complexities, I never really think about it. Or especially like you were saying, like every little thing that you switch, it can be just one thing, and then you notice that you're flat for like a few days or something like that.
Exactly.
One question.
I have to ask. No, you go ahead. I got another one lined up right after you, because I'm very interested in one thing.
The most important thing is do you have a cheat meal, or do you have a post-contest meal that you go for?
Great question. Everyone always asks me this question. So when you're in prep, everything is cut dry. You don't really get a cheat meal. I was given one cheat meal in the 7 months I was in prep, And,
Wow.
and he told me what it was. So
Mhm.
you're eating 2 spicy chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A.
All
So
right.
I wasn't like a free reign, whatever you want. It's like, no, I'm going to tell you what you're going to eat. And you're going to enjoy it now. And then he gave me that, I think it was 3 weeks before my show.
Mhm.
So I had to wait 6.5 months to get a cheat meal. It
Yep.
was insane. But you got to do what
Now-
you got to do.
Did you
So,
inhale it or did you eat it and savor it?
no, I nailed it. It was like, I don't think it survived the ride home. I think as soon as I got it, I wanted it hot. It was the best thing in the entire world. And it's funny, I hate McDonald's. I'm against McDonald's. I don't eat fast food. But when you're in prep and you see commercials, you're like, wow, that quarter pounder looks like I want to eat that. You can't have it. So it does. You start to tend to really have a hankering for certain foods that you know are not great, just because it's food. It's like not almonds, pineapple, avocado, and cucumber having every day, and something else. So
Yes.
to answer the question, I actually don't do a cheat meal after I do a show, because my last show I did like 2-3 years ago, I was like, I want a chimichanga. That's like the one thing I really wanted. Or just taco for years. I never ate a chimichanga. They was like so good. I know they're just horrendous for you. Like there's nothing good about them. But
Soul
at
food,
my
a good
show, it's
soul
like,
There's protein in them.
no, I'm not gonna indulge myself. Just eat the same thing. Now, a lot of guys after their show, they'll eat donuts, they'll eat pizza, whatever it is, and they'll look better like 2 or 3 days after the show, post cheat meal, because your body absorbs all the extra calories and fills out. So you actually almost look better technically. Maybe not as lean, but you feel better.
Mhm.
But yeah, no,
Well-
I just never really had a hankering for crazy food. After I work out, I mean, I'll have a donut, I guess. No, nothing else. But it's never like a big giant like buffet
Mhm.
as somebody used to eat after a show. And then 2 days later, I'm back on ground turkey and rice. Like
Yeah.
it never happened.
Consistency is
yeah.
key with it.
I do tend to drink after a show, obviously. That's
Hey, that's
my
a cheat
thing.
meal.
I don't indulge on chimichangas, but I'll indulge on like back in the day was Bud Platinums. Which are just
Honey Plat.
Bud Plats.
Fantastic.
They were so good. They were strong. Hard calorie wise, like 230 calories per one beer.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
I would drink the beer out of my trophy. So I got the trophies, videos on my phone. Trophy, pour the beer in. That's how I celebrated. And then we went out after that to Tom Driver Ale House. Is a great bar I used to frequent back when I lived in Tom Driver. So it was we had my friends. I still looked tan, like it was great. That was my thing. I got my calories. I drank my calories instead of, and it hit you so much harder because you're so lean. 2 beers, you're like, okay, can't drive.
I was actually just thinking that.
So bodybuilding turned Jake into a cheap date post show. There we go.
Oh yes, no, for sure, yeah, for sure.
Hey, being
Now,
a
the one thing
lightweight is not a bad thing.
It saves you on the bills. The one thing, Jake, that I'm locked in on for some reason, my brain is just wondering, was one thing you said that you were eating during like the cuts days before, was that monk fruit?
Yeah, monk fruit's like a powdered artificial sugar of some kind, like stevia.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not
I'm looking at the
actually
picture of the
fruit, but
legit
it's like,
monk fruit. Like
yeah,
the
no,
actual, I'm like, I thought you were eating that. I'm like, what? I've never even seen this in the grocery store before.
it's
All
in the
right,
organic section. It's the monk fruit. They cut it with something else. I forgot what it was. Now I haven't had it in years, obviously, but there's monk fruit all natural. There's another monk fruit that has some other aspartame maybe might be in it. Something else is in it. And I had to get the natural one that had just monk fruit in it. So like my desserts, my sweet thing that I had during prep, my dessert was cucumber slices cut up with monk fruit on them. And then sometimes I got cinnamon. And that was like,
Coach let you have a little cinnamon on
a little cinnamon in there. But that was like there's like no calories to it. It's dry. It does taste really good. The cucumber, the monk fruit is really sweet. It's actually a super good dessert. It's just, I love cucumbers, so I never really hated having it. But again, having it for so many times and consistently every day, I got tired of that. But ground turkey and rice, I'm cool with.
all day.
Also, a secret thing is Frank's hot sauce. That's a little plug. They don't sponsor me or anything. They really should. Frank's hot sauce, 3 ingredients, 0 calories. Put that on everything. I love Frank's hot sauce.
I was
You're
just
allowed
going
to
to
say that
ask
word,
if you have any sauce with it.
It's Frank's. Frank's, another company I like a lot, which I didn't have during prep because it had some calories to it, but off season I liked is G. Hughes. Makes a really good sauce. They make a bunch of different wing sauces and dressings. Granted, the dressings are 110 calories ish, so relative, but the ingredients are super clean.
Oh,
The actual sauce themselves has like 5 ingredients, I think, in them. So I'm a big advocate for G Hughes. If you can find it, it's in any shop right or whatever has it. Highly recommend G Hughes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
my
I
I've
see
plug.
used
those all the
his
time.
barbecue sauces and stuff before. His stuff's really
Yeah.
good.
Caribbean
Mhm.
jerk, super good. Mango habanero, oof.
I guess
The
we'll have to put a
teriyaki before
picture
too.
up.
Yeah, right here. These are the recommended
Right,
sauces to use.
here's my link, my bio.
Yeah.
10% off.
Sponsor
Jake
us,
is
G
now a
Hughes.
sauce dealer.
I want a kickback. I want a free G Hughes sauce. I don't need any money. Just give me bottles, please.
A package of G Hughes just shows up to your door. Maybe Aaron and I will just make that happen. We'll just send G Hughes to you.
I get the big gallon thing of Frank's. Like, we don't mess around. We run through that every 2 weeks to get one. We put that
We
on
really are putting that ish on everything.
Now,
everything.
there are different types of Franks. You always just go with the
Frank's hot
classic.
sauce, original. The wing sauce has extra calories in it. I think they
Yeah.
put butter in it so it sticks more to the actual meat of the chicken wings, preferably, obviously. But yeah, for just general Frank's hot sauce, plain. I guess cayenne pepper, salt, and I think vinegar are the only 3 ingredients, and I think distilled water. I think the 3 ingredients in them. But you can pretty much eat that guilt-free because it's just dry seasonings, which is some of that. When I was in prep, all I could have really was like ground pepper. Because even salt, you can't have the sodium balance of salt. So I couldn't even add salt to things. So Frank's is one of those things I was able to have kind of guilt free. You can't drink it, but you can kind of dip it in and have a little extra seasoning on there.
Very interesting. Now, Jake, would you say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, was the diet portion of the training, was that the most challenging part, or was there something else that you would say was more challenging than that?
I think getting to the gym was, again, I worked at the gym, so it's convenient. But if I didn't work at the gym, I had 2 years where I was competing. I didn't work at a gym. And that made it really difficult because getting the AM cardio, which was, it starts around 30 minutes a day for the first, 3 days a week for the first couple of weeks. And then it goes to 4 days and 5 days, and it goes from 30 minutes to 45. So it progressively gets more intense as it goes on. So you have to allot that time for your day. So you had to get up earlier and then earlier and earlier. I remember when I used to, before I did cardio, I had to drink 2 drinks before I actually had cardio. It was water, aloe vera juice, apple cider vinegar, and lemon, and collagen, all mixed. I think that's like one of my drinks I had to drink, and then I drink a cup of black coffee as my pre-workout. I had those 2, so I had to get up in the morning, make that, drink it, pretty much, drown yourself in liquids. Go fasted cardio because technically it's fasted, but aloe vera had calories technically, so it's loosely fasted cardio. Do that, go home, shower, or shower at the gym, whatever. Go to work. After work, back to the gym for about an hour and a half, 2-hour workout session. Go home, and then it's also the eating in between. So not every work environment allows you to have periodically throughout the day snacks to keep your hunger going. So, after cardio, I had to eat certain food. Middle of the day, certain food. Before I went to the gym, certain food. After the gym, certain food. Then obviously dessert, dinner, and then my cucumber at the end. So the hardest part is just the time management, I think, between, and you have to meal prep in between all that too, which is just insane. So I meal prepped on Sundays and Wednesdays typically, and grocery bill was expensive because everything I had to get was all natural. It couldn't be any kind of preservatives and frozen, obviously, and that really adds up to the bill. And I was eating so much and so consistently that I couldn't miss a meal. You can't skip out. I'm like, I'm not gonna have nuts today because you need to have those almonds. I used to weigh out almonds. It was just everything that you were ingesting was weighed out, which takes time. Bag it up, put it away. I have videos on my phone, my entire countertop of like 3 days worth of food, just everything weighed out, marked with a marker. For certain days and leg days had extra calories, not leg days, not. So it was important to know what days you're eating what foods. So everything was labeled Friday, Saturday, whatever it was. And obviously rest days, I had 2 rest days a week, not with cardio, but working out. So I had rest days. Obviously my calories were a lot lower because I wasn't expelling calories from working out. So everything was really calculated. And that was the hardest part. It was just time management and calculation of how there's only 24 hours in a day. You got to get your recovery time and you got to be able to rest at night to make sure your body can fully recover from the workout. And it's just the same thing every single day. So that was definitely the hardest part. I guess it's a combination of the diet, yes, but it's the calculations of time management throughout the day and how you're going to squeeze everything have to get done within a 24-hour window or get with sleep.
It's sort of mind-boggling.
Yeah,
I know. I'm
it-
sitting here like, holy ish. Like
Yep.
that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
definitely a lot of stuff. Time
put
is the
it-
biggest thing.
To put it in the easiest terms for my tiny brain, from the first week of prep to the last week. I know you said the last week you're eating like 800 calories. Like, what does
Low
the
calories, yeah.
range of calories go from start to finish?
I think I start about because when you first start with prep, they usually put you on they call it a test diet where they manipulate your food intake. So they'll tell them what you eat in a day. Typically, they'll modify. You'll try that for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks to see if your body reacts to it. They'll cut it down or they'll increase it. So with my coach, he actually increased my calories a couple of times. I think it went up to like 38 to 4,200 calories, I think, in a given day. Then we started cutting it periodically down, and then peak month is when they really increase the cardio, drop your calories significantly, probably 25%. And then up to the peak week is when you're going down extremely. You're pretty much just eating to survive at that point. You're getting your protein. Your protein is most important. You cut your carbs, and your water manipulation is also really important. That's one thing that I wish I paid more attention to with my water. I listened to what he said, so I did everything he told me to do. But looking fast forward to now, I still don't really understand water manipulation as well as I probably should, given my experience in bodybuilding. And I hate to admit, and some people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's a bodybuilder, he doesn't know water manipulation," but it is very tricky. You gotta make sure you take in. What we're leading up to is like 2 gallons of water a day. I think the week before, and then they cut it down to a gallon, and it was like water just to survive, like 8 ounces, I think a day or two beforehand. And then so it was like you're dying of hunger and thirst at the same time because you want to get as cut and dry as possible. So the day before you're trying to like really pull it in. You also take supplements too. I mean, A and B is all natural. So supplements I was taking were all up to snuff, were all good. But one of them is like a appetite increaser. So they knew you had to increase your calories at the beginning of peak. So what this would do would help your body digest faster so you could take in more calories. And then they also had water pills, which are glorified diuretics. You take it, your body sponges water at a really quick rate. Ostensibly, it's exactly what a cucumber does or asparagus does. It's just in a pill form. So on top of taking asparagus every day and cucumber, water diuretic pills as well. So your body is just as clean as possibly can be and pretty much peeing water at the time, which is going right through you.
I've taken those Water X pills. I took a couple. I was taking a bunch of supplements at one point, but one of them was mixed in with a Water X and a thermogenic pill. And let me tell you, I was sweating bullets and peeing like every hour. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, this thing, I was constantly peeing all day long.
It's kind of nice because your body's like just flushing itself out. If you have any toxins left in your body, they're definitely leaving you at that point. We also have to take with supplements, and you increase them. You have to make sure you take a liver enhancer or a liver regulator, I guess, is whatever it's called, just because it helps your body filter everything out. So all the supplements you're taking during prep looks great, but if we don't actually help the organs that are used to filter out those supplements, you're just doing more damage. Not as much damage as alcohol would do necessarily, but it's still taxing to have to go through all the supplements because you're in prep, but you're taking a bunch of different pills to regulate yourself. You're taking vitamins you're taking every day, diuretic you're taking every day, liver complex you're taking every day. It's just a lot of liver to have to filter through because you're peeing so many times. Your body just is constantly moving. So it's important to kind of balance those two things out. Is your actual health, because bodybuilding necessarily in and of itself is not really a healthy sport. You're pretty much pushing your body to the complete edge. You're not meant to be at 3.5% body fat. Your body just can't survive that way. Obviously, you only do it for a couple of days or a day of the show, but in and of itself, you're putting your body through a horrible time, forcing it, and you did all this calorie manipulation for so long. Your body is just like feeding for food. And you're just telling your body like, no, we want to look really good for this. So you kind of have to get over that mental thing as well, and knowing your body just can't. People who can maintain 5% body fat, not good. Your organs need food. Your brain needs carbs. Your body has to work with some kind of substance. So usually around 10%, I think, is like the healthy, the good spot to be at, where you're not super lean, but your body's still satiated enough. You're not hurting it at all, because it's a lot on the body.
It's really amazing. It's amazing to think about you essentially become your body becomes a lab with all just like the managing and the manipulating of just the different the macros in you, the vitamin manipulation, the supplement manipulation. It always comes down to it. Like you said earlier, like it gets down to a science to the point where you get so consistent with a diet. You change one thing, you know that was the thing that could have either helped you or hurt you. So it's really amazing to just see how much work it really all is.
Yep. And then your body, especially after the show too, you got to do like kind of like a reverse cycle kind of thing. We kind of ease your body back into the swing of things. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of cheat meals right afterwards. One meal is fine, but I had a friend that did bodybuilding for years, and he didn't reverse cycle really well after a show. He just kept eating and eating and eating.
Binged.
And he ended up turning into a power lifter because he never lost the weight. Because he loved the gym, but he just couldn't get back into that shape. Now, fast forward to now, he got back into really good shape, so he's looking great now. Not bodybuilding shape necessarily, but his weight's definitely down. But he went out, he had a gut and everything. He was pushing crazy weight because the calories he was taking in were absorbing them out. But I always say, bodybuilders that can't reverse cycle properly, reverse diet properly, just turn to powerlifters. So you still love for the gym, but it's a discipline after the fact. That's why I never really got out of shape. I always kind of stayed consistent. I gained a few pounds here and there, obviously, as anyone would, but I could never get to the point where I was, a bigger waist. I could still walk down the stairs without heavy breathing. I feel it's important. The prep to get in is really challenging, but you gotta make sure, because after your show, typically, depending on the coach you have, you're done with, they're doing 1 or 2 shows. The last show, they're like, all right, like you're good, you did your show, reverse from here and you're good. But some people just inhale all the food they can. So like, oh, I'm done with the season. Like, I'm good. I'll lose it back again in 6 months. And then it doesn't always happen. They get to a point where they just keep eating and eating. And then you get to a point where 30 pounds were way more than you were, weighing like 40, 50 pounds, because you lose a lot of weight for the show itself. And you gain it all back, and then you have to lose it all again. It's just your body isn't really meant to go through those extremes. It's already extreme enough to lose 20, 30 pounds for a show, from water weight to fat, and obviously into the show day. But if you increase it from, like, say, at 200 pounds, you go into your show like 175, 180, that's pretty good. But if you then, after your show, go to like 225 or 230 or 240, you're always jumping your body 70 pounds. And I guarantee it's not a muscle, obviously. So that 70 pounds, then you lose your 40 pounds to get back to the base level, and then another 25 pounds to get to show level. So it's you got to manage everything appropriately. Otherwise, you're going to end up just feeding, and then you're going to get larger, not going to go to the gym as often, and you lose your discipline from there. So I always say it's easier to stay consistent as opposed to work for the extremes, because the extremes are going to get you every time.
That actually makes me think of 2 things. First of all, the show The Biggest Loser, like, they would lose so much weight so fast that once they got off the show, they just gained it all back. Because, like you said, they were just dealing in extremes and probably losing like 10 pounds a week, and that's just not sustainable in the long run.
Exactly. Yep.
No.
The other thing it makes me think of is that, like, the survival TV shows like Naked and Afraid, where they lose like 30 pounds, 40 pounds. Yeah, but it's sort of like you said, like, you get down to like that 3% body weight for 3 days, and it's like sort of the same thing as for them in a weird way. That is just so bad for your body. And I'm sure, like, the second they get home, they just gorge everything they possibly can.
Yeah,
sure.
You even hear stories. Yeah. You even hear, like, weird stories where people actually hurt their stomach just because they're not used to taking it in anymore.
Well, metabolism is like a muscle. You got to, like, work it out appropriately. So that's why cheat meals are really important, because if you eat the same thing, like I do eat something every day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, but I do have that one cheat meal to make sure my metabolism works. You have to work it out. You have to kind of give it the extra calories a day to make sure it's still up and running. So if you're on Survivor, all the extreme shows, your metabolism isn't getting worked out at all. So it just stays stagnant for so long that eventually, when you do eventually have that caloric surplus, it doesn't know what to do with it. And it starts storing random foods as fat because it's not sure what's going to happen next. So it's really important to understand that metabolism kind of works that way. And like anything else, I'm a big advocate for this. It's calories in, calories out, how it always should be. If you want to lose weight, cut calories. If you want to gain weight, increase calories. It's just how it goes. It's not rocket science at all. It's just science.
It's the basics. It's the building blocks and basics, and you got to understand that. So, Jake, from what I'm gathering right now is I leave for Italy in a couple of days, and you're saying it's not healthy for me to just go down to eating only 100 calories a day so I can look cut up with washboard abs on the Amalfi Coast?
I mean, listen, man, throw a diabetic in there, you'll be fine. You see a protein shake. Just eat protein shakes every day in diabetic, and you just see what your body does.
Catch me on water X pills, Thermex, and protein shakes.
Rotated. That's all you need.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, just all I have to do is just.
Protein
Oh
thermogetic.
man.
Good.
Now, Jake, with all of the like this put into it, of course, the gym is the major part of it. It's putting in the work to build up the muscle to get to where the goals that you need to be at. And I'm sure there were some troubles and maybe some injuries along the way. What were some of the common injuries that you kind of dealt with, maybe on and off, or any injuries at all that you had while you were in this career?
Yeah, so I messed up my lower back, which we'll get to that, but you helped me with this. But I tweaked my lower back doing a deficit deadlift in a prep a year before my last show, and I tweaked it, and I didn't get the right help for it. I just kind of like kept working through it, did other movements to kind of alleviate the weight on the spine to kind of let it get better. It got okay better, but then the next year I got back into prep. The volume of working out that I had to do and the constant every day of like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 5 days a week, made me reactivate my back injury. And so I thought I slipped a disc. I thought it was something really bad, but I was able to work around it. And as I got to PT, I got a little strength in my lower back. So I got back to where it really is now. I'm good. But I never took off the gym. So when I got at the end of my last prep, my back was at all-time like pain. I still went to the gym, but I just altered my workouts. So I did BFR training, which helped a lot because I was still able to work out, get some muscle, break down the fibers. So I was still within the motions. I didn't squat, nothing spinal load, nothing overhead pressing, pretty much machines. So I did that, and I gradually just got more. Between that and going to PT, I just constantly challenged myself a little bit more, so that eventually I was confident in getting my squat back to where it is. Get down, confident doing deadlifts, confident doing shoulder presses again. So I feel like some people when they get injured, they take some time off and they get back into the gym, but they don't change their workout to accommodate for the injury that they just had, whether they got it fixed or not. It doesn't go away. It doesn't just magically just like, all right, cool, like you had your back yesterday, give it a week of time of rest and then come back and be good. A lot of those injuries you get, especially with the high volume workout you're doing, it's either a minor injury that just gets annoyed by the volume of working out you have to do, or it's a big injury. You actually have to get the S word, surgery, to repair it. Fortunately, over the years, since I've been 10 years now in the working out, I've had no issues with surgery, knock on wood, don't worry about that. But I'm also a big advocate for stretching. I use my bands every single day. I do my workout, my stretches that Tommy taught me how to do for my lower back every day. So it's important to take care of your body before the injuries happen, as opposed to having to work with the injuries after they happen, because it's a lot easier to be to kind of make yourself how weird this
Proactive instead of reactive.
There it is. Exactly looking for it.
There you
Yes.
go.
There it is. Perfect. That was great. Yeah, exactly what I was going for. Definitely better to be proactive than reactive for sure. And obviously, if you're a bodybuilding guy or you just go to the gym a lot, proper form is always key. When I was a personal trainer, I always made sure I taught all my clients proper form first and foremost. So we didn't go right into we didn't go right into bench. We did dumbbells first, make sure that the little muscles were still firing off and the form is right. If you go too fast in the compound movements, you get bad habits and certain muscle groups aren't being targeted they should. So the rhomboids aren't getting worked out, the front delts aren't getting worked out. You're just trying to get the weight up, and that's what causes some bad injuries. If you keep doing it over and over again, you get shoulder issues, you get tricep issues or tendonitis, something like that in your elbow. So you got to understand that it's important to get those little muscle groups firing and make sure that those are in check. The mind muscle connection is really important. It's not as ego lifting fun. Obviously, everyone wants to bench all this weight, but if you can't dumbbell press properly, then your bench is never going to be right.
Mm-hmm.
It's those little muscle groups that people kind of forget. All these ego lifters just want to get to the gym and they put their elbow pads on. They put all these things on. They think that's going to make it stronger, make them better. But if you rely on those things, you're going to get injured. It's just how it is. So, proper form is always was important. I walk before you could run. As I went to the gym when I was 17, I was a scrawny little kid, and I got to where I'm at now. And fortunately, I'm a little bigger than I was back then, but bias morphia is a real thing, obviously. And so I still think I'm still that scrawny young kid that I was 11 years ago. but my weight's a little better than I'm pushing, which is nice. And I know for a fact that like I have good form. Is it perfect form? I like to think so, but everyone has their opinions on everything. But you got to make sure you walk before you run. Make sure you get those little intricacies taken care of in the earlier stages, so you don't have to worry about injuries in the later stages.
And I think something that you said too, like how when you got hurt, you didn't just quit exercising, you just modified things. Is a big thing that people don't do. Like a lot of times people get hurt and like almost do bed rests. And when you're doing bed rests or just not moving around, it doesn't just get better out of nowhere. You actually have to train your muscles and retrain them so that they can come back stronger too.
Exactly. You go through atrophy, and the worst part about is if you go on bed rest, atrophy happens, then you get cleared by the doctor, and you go to the gym, you do the exact same thing you were doing right before you got injured. There's no like middle ground, so ease your way back into it. They think, oh, doctor said yes, I'm good to go. It's like doctor will tell you, they'll clear you that your injury's good, but you have to be your own judge of your body and listen to your body and go from there. There are days where I'm not feeling as strong, so I ease off the weight. And obviously, if you're injured, you took some time off of the gym, your body has to react and get back to it. And the thing is, even if you do atrophy a little bit, or if you do get a little weaker, it takes 2 weeks for your body to get back to it, because muscle memory is something that is extremely science proof. You will get the muscle back. You just gotta give it the time to get there. And the worst case scenario is get injured again, and you're back in bed rest for another 6 weeks, and now you're 12 weeks behind where you could have been. And that's when real atrophy happens. And you lose motivation, you lose your discipline, you eat, and then you're never out to the gym again. Yeah, it just goes hard from there.
When we
it becomes a cycle.
Yeah, when we were in college, we played rugby, and I didn't know anything about like PT or anything. I always like lifted, I always did it, but I didn't necessarily have the most knowledge. I just sort of did willy-nilly. But I hurt my back water skiing over the summer, and my thought was if I do bed rest and then play rugby on the weekends, I'll get better. And it got worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point.
This was before he went to grad school, so we didn't know better. We learned later when
I didn't know anything.
Had the science revealed to him.
But like I got through the whole rugby season. The last game of the season, I couldn't even run anymore, and I had to like stop halfway through the game because I was just in so much pain. And the way I really started getting better was I just walked. Like I just didn't lay in bed. I just walked around and slowly got back into the gym. Like you said, like doing really light first, building up strength, getting some mobility stuff in. And then eventually, I'm young and spry now.
They were good. Getting the blood flow to the body is most important. The rest is never really the answer. I mean, for a couple of days, fine, I get it. But or just get up and walking. My mom, she's older, love her to death. She has one of those like little ellipticals that you could just sit in your chair, do this. Because she was having issues like going upstairs and walking around so often. So I told her, you just need to get blood to the muscles so you don't atrophy. Any kind of movement you can do. She uses it every day, now she has no problems. I mean, she's older, so stairs still aren't her friend. But she has had pain, which is the biggest thing. She has ankle pain, like this. You need some motion. So you can't just sit down and expect your body just to get up and go. As you get older and you gotta get the pedals moving.
Sorry.
So it's important.
I'm always big into like instead of rest, like active rest. Like find a little activity you could do, get yourself moving a little bit.
Or even going back to the exercise that you might have injured yourself and just taking all the weight off and just going back to form, back to basics. Let's fix what broke us in the first place, finding whatever we need to tweak. That's what I do a lot of times in physical therapy. It's like I'll take somebody who's an avid gym goer and we'll talk about the exercises that hurt them. And I say, okay, we're going to just go back to basics. Like I'm going to give you a 1 pound bar and guess what? We're doing RDLs because that's what hurt you in the first place. So let's figure it out.
Exactly. Calisthenics is a huge thing too. Especially with squats. If you can get proper, you won't be able to get a good squat if you can't squat with just your body weight. It just won't happen. You add more weight to the weight you're already carrying around, you're going to be screwed. You're going to find your body will get that weight up. Will it be the right way though? Most likely not. So when I was injured, had my back injury, I really eased myself back into the gym. Or even Tommy said I can squat. I'm like, not yet. I'm going to keep doing this a little bit more. That's why the little bands of BFR training was really nice because, do 25 reps, feels like you're pushing thousands of pounds because your body's not getting the recovery, the recruitment of the blood. So that helped a lot. And I always did calisthenics just to end the day. So I did, air squats, push-ups, pull-ups, like things that would help my body just still feel the form. It wasn't anything added weight wise.
Mhm.
So it
And
was,
that's even an example right there. Like you even just said, like I gave you the clearance, like, hey, Jake, you can go and try squats now, and you didn't feel ready for it. So even though like I'm saying it, I'm the PT and the doctor in the scenario, if you don't feel ready for it, then you're not ready for it. Then we have to kind of continue to work up and build the confidence back up too
Yep.
for it, which is what you did. And bang, look where we are now. I see the Instagram videos. We're squatting over 405 now. What's the PR, Jake?
we're at 420, but that's when I was in peak winter bulk where I was weighing 225 pounds, and I did Squattober, so that gets your
Oh.
squat up. Yeah, I love
Squattober. Aaron, have you heard of Squattober before?
Squats are the worst. I've
Oh,
not
no,
heard of
but-
squats over.
Squattober. In
Yeah.
theory, everyone thinks it's like the worst thing because you're squatting 5 days a week for the entire month of October. And like, oh, your knees are gonna give out, your back's gonna hurt, you're gonna mess yourself up. And I've done it for 4 years in a row, and I probably have stronger knees than anyone that I know. I had the best squat form that I could think of, and I have great knees, no problems, knock on wood.
Mhm.
Back is fine. Because the thing is, you're not squatting heavy every day. There are days you're like 30% of your PR max or 60% of your PR max. Doing benching, you're doing pull-ups, things like that. You're still doing full workouts. But the premise of it, though, is you're building confidence in your squat back. So I told Tommy when I hurt my back, I think I got cleared by him in either August or September. And I said, I want to make sure that I'm able to do Squattober. So I need to take this month of September, ease myself back into it so when October happens. And now I say alter my max PR because I wasn't going to go back to what my PR was the year before. So I think I took like 20% off of it. And I worked with that. And I had a great time. I had no problems. My knees still feel fine. I use knee sleeves only on weights over 300 pounds just because I am getting older. I don't want to have my knees having kind of problems for whatever reason. But I don't need them if I don't want to use them. I don't need to use them. So I always told myself that the gym was for obviously bettering myself, getting myself in a good shape, but it's all about longevity as well. Like I want to be able to pick up my kids when I'm older, throw them around a little bit, play sports with them, and not have back aches, a bad elbow, bad knees, rolled ankles, whatever it is. So that's why I kept it consistently through. I go to the gym, obviously, but the workouts are always form first and listen to your body more than anything else. If I go to the gym, like, I want to lift 300 pounds today. It's like, we're going to wait. We're going to do small increments to warm up and see how we're feeling. I see some guys go to the gym, they'll put 135 on the bar, then 225, then 315. I'm like, how are you just doing giant increments? I've always done smaller increments because, again, if my calories were a little lower the day before, my rest wasn't really what it should have been, workout's not going to be as good as the days where I've had perfect rest and perfect calories the day before. So it's really important to leave your ego at the door, as cliche as that sounds. Listen to your body because your body is going to tell you everything you need to know. And you leave the best part about the best workout at the gym is the one you leave the workout without any injuries. You don't have like aches or pains. So the longevity. So what we do the next day. Because you do one day of really bad workout and you hurt yourself, then you're 2 weeks out of the game, bare minimum, sure. And maybe longer than that if you need surgery, God forbid. So it's like I want to make sure I'm able to work out the next day. So, and with the weight will come. And more consistent you go to the gym, the more weight is going to get on you, obviously, the more weight you can be able to push. But you got to be able to kind of do it in the right periodic way as opposed to just jumping weight. And then,
like a majority of people don't really need to be the strongest ever. It's more like you were saying, 10 years from now, being able to do everything that you want to do. 10,
Exactly.
20, however many years.
Yep.
It's just about staying healthy, being healthy, keeping mobility. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Like I would love to be the strongest guy in the gym and lift up all of the weight, but if it's going to cause me injury to the point where like I'm going to have trouble moving, it might not be right now. It might be 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, but I want to be able to stay healthy and move, like you said, Jake, run around with the kids for as long as I possibly can.
That's the goal. So that's the thing. I don't do PRs really ever. Everyone wants to do a PR. I want to go to the gym. Like, I want to hit 315 on bench today. I'm going to do that. I was like, I don't go to the gym with expectations and weight I'm pushing. I was going there to see what I want to do that day. And depending on the gym, what's available, I try to change it, for a few, whatever. But I never go to the gym with a PR in mind. I never go there, I'm going to PR today. Because first of all, I work out by myself. Like, I have a resting bitch face. No one wants to talk to me. So I go to the gym, I have my headphones on. I have the over-ear headphones, so it's really obvious that, like, don't talk to me. And I think I'm a very nice person who talks to me. I'm very nice to you. No problem whatsoever. I just have that face and no one wants to approach me, which is fine. I get it. I'm there for a mission. I'm there an hour and a half pretty much to the dot consistently every day. And I don't ask for spots ever. I don't need them. If I can't do a weight more than 2 reps, I usually just don't do it. So the most I'll do is I'll do a 5x2 on squats. But I gotta ease myself into it. I do 315, see how that feels. If it feels heavy that day, doing that for 5x2. We're good. And then if it feels light, then I periodically go 315, 335, 355, 375, and go up like that way. Big fan of small increases on sets. I feel like you get more bang for your buck, and your form never goes bad. If you go from 275 to like 365, 275 felt light, then 365 is in your back, and all of a sudden you go down, your adrenaline kicks in, your body's like, we're getting that weight up, but it's getting up the right way, and then all of a sudden you put it re-rack, and you're like, oh, my back is a little like oofy, and your whole workout's shot, and you don't take a few days off the gym, and you're behind. It's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
No, very true. So that kind of leads into a question that we like to ask everybody who comes on. Since we were talking about Squattober, what's your favorite exercise in the gym, Jake? If you had to pick one exercise over all of them, it could be a machine, it could be a compound, it can be anything. What would you pick?
I'm gonna have to go with squats. I really feel like that's the best workout there is. It's besides deadlift has like the most muscle groups involved with the actual lift, so it is a very nice workout. But talking about a squat, a properly executed squat, just is so satisfying. And I don't use the shoulders in the rack. I go down. If I die, I die. But I do feel like it's one of those workouts where you go down, you really feel your body's adrenaline on the way up. Where you go down the hole and you come up, and like if you don't get up, you got to be embarrassed. You got to like throw out this way, and then everyone's gonna watch you and be like, oh, I'm a loser. Yeah, and then do the worst part. You have to unrack all that weight on the ground after you just failed. Put the bar back up, and it's like, do I just go home now? Like, do I get membership? Do I get to the gym now? So it's just
Nothing fuels it more.
It's just,
nothing fuels the squat more than the fear of not
more than the fear of
and everybody be like, ew.
Yeah. The gym I go to is just dudes everywhere. It's just there's like 3 girls that go there. One's my fiance. There's dudes everywhere. So they're not even embarrassed in front of girls. Like just dudes like will judge you. It's fine. I get it.
That's exactly what I mean. It's just like the other gym girl's gonna be like, he doesn't lift.
I'm there asking him to spot me. And then my least favorite is definitely bench. I don't like bench.
Oh man, nobody likes bench.
Barbell bench.
Yeah.
Barbell bench actually scares me every time.
And it's
because I'm afraid about bench.
Yeah, it's benching is just for me. It leads to a lot of injuries. It's not natural movement for your body to be in a fixed position like this. I prefer dumbbells where you can kind of manipulate it, turn your wrist in a little bit, go a little further down where you want to get the full contraction of the muscle, push back up. Big fan of that. Also, the issue is my gym that I go to now, the racks are just really stupidly designed, where there's a gap between like the arm and the barbell. So when weight gets really heavy, you like push it forward and then out. Just not a fan. Not a fan whatsoever about it. I just don't like benching. I still do it occasionally, but I did a lot more and then I just stopped. I started using dumbbells significantly more. And then let's see. Yeah, dumbbells. That's about right. That's the biggest thing.
I would agree. I think you get more bang for your buck with the dumbbells anyway. I feel like more so it's more of a stability exercise as well because like you were describing before, you got to use those smaller muscles to stabilize it. To me, the bench, a lot of times from just the mechanics of my arms and my shoulders, it doesn't feel right. Even like post-op, it just like for my shoulder, I had a rugby injury I had to get operated on. It feels funky. So I prefer the dumbbells myself as well. I do have to disagree. I like the deadlift more, but I just think that versus a squat, I love a squat too, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like my body shape was built to deadlift versus a squat, but that's also just the fear of not looking cool when I drop 225 pounds on a squat because I feel sad that day. So.
Tough day. Now, do you have short femurs, Tommy? Because you need short femurs and arms are like the perfect combination for deadlifts because your range of motion.
I can deadlift more than I can squat for some I don't know why. Maybe that is why.
That makes sense. So a lot of people can deadlift more than they can squat because your deadlift is like more of a natural movement. So you can pull. It's only you're leg pressing first, and then you're using posterior to like kind of just lock it out a little bit. And then squat, you're relying solely on your legs just to get your body back up. So deadlift, people are typically stronger in deadlift. It's a more natural movement. You have more leverage with it as well. Squats, it's just it's spray and pray at that point. You go down, you hope you get back up. Deadlift, you can always drop it. My deadlift, I think, is like a 455. So it's my squat's slowly creeping up to it, but my squat will probably never break 420. It's because I was so dense when I hit it that I probably won't get that dense anymore because it was tough to get the couple of pounds off that I wanted to. But it's fine. I'm cool with that. You know, I'm at the point now where 315 is a good, solid working for me. Like I get a good contraction. I can do it for a bunch of reps. I'm happy. I had an old trainer at Crunch. He's like, once you get to a weight, like his weight was 225 on squat. So once you get a weight that you feel comfortable with, as long as you just manipulate the workout around that, as far as like some days you do 5x2, 5x5. Once you get to that and you're comfortable with the weight in their back, that's all you really need. Like you don't need to squat all this weight for one rep because all you're doing is you're risking injury to stroke your ego at that point. Like, oh, I can do 500. It's impressive. Don't be wrong. I'm not going to judge you for doing all that weight. Trust me, I can't do it. All power to you. But again, it's about longevity. I want to make sure that I can get this gym thing consistently going. And if I go for a weight that's kind of questionable, or if I'm just putting the weight on for fun of it and hope I get the weight up, it'll get up. Hopefully, if it doesn't, possibly injury. If it does get up, possible injury from my back, just curling in, trying to get the weight up. It's just get that weight that feels comfortable. 225 is comfortable for you, then just rock that for a while. And eventually, 225 will feel light for you, and then you can increase it from there. So it's about there's a big advocate for progressive overload, right? So when I was really consistent in the gym, like I'm prep, but just going to the gym every day. Back when I was single, and I can go to the gym every day and do the same thing every single day. Progressive overload means like you're doing the same movement, pretty much every week. You're just increasing like 5 pounds, 2.5 pounds periodically. So it breaks your muscle fibers. It forces your body to get stronger than it actually is, and then you hit a point where it's you do 5x2, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love 5x2s. You do that with 225. Next week, do by 230 or 235. And if you can get through all 5 working sets at that weight, yeah, another 5 pounds. Or say you got through 3 of the sets out of 5. Okay, do the same weight the next week. And eventually you get to 5. Then you're good the next week, increase it. So you're constantly, it's not big jumps, but small periodic jumps will eventually get you to the higher weight. And you do the same forms. You're keeping the weight that you can control. So longevity wise, it's incredible. It takes commitment to do it, obviously, but it's one of my favorite things I used to do. And I'm doing better at it now. For me personally, I hate doing the same workout over and over again. Not that it has to be exactly the same, obviously compound movement wise, but I do like to do 5x5s, 5x2s, 3x4s, occasionally throw my workout, mixing up a little bit because I want to constantly get my stimulus broken. I want to constantly get my body guessing. But progressive overload is definitely a really big thing that you can utilize in the gym to kind of get past plateaus. Technically,
I love that.
Plateau before. I constantly change my weight around.
That's pretty much what I do too with the 225. Like for squatting, like you just described it. Like 225 feels comfortable for me. I can do it depending on the day. I can do 5x5s or I'll do 3x8s depending on how I feel. I don't like to go past it just because I'm afraid of injury. Like I said, I'm not as comfortable with the squat. I'll go up to 315 or more on a deadlift, but for a squat 225, I get a good quad workout in.
Yeah.
I've tried more. It feels funky, so I'm like, you know what? 225 will get me plenty of a workout, and that's all I need to do.
Exactly. So what you want out of the gym. Obviously, if you're a power lifter, yes, you need to put the weight on the bar to get it up. As a bodybuilder, obviously, the strength isn't super important, but you have to look like you're really strong. So it's a lot more hypertrophy training throughout the workout where you're just critiquing and you're kind of like molding the muscles. Powerlifting is just, I'm getting this weight up, whether it be bench, deadlift, squat, overhead press, whatever it is. I'm going to get whatever I don't care how I look doing it, but it's going to move. And that's when you go to the gym, it's a lot of what you want out of the gym. There's powerlifting, there's strength lifting, bodybuilding, hypertrophy movements, and there's just like cardio people who just go to the gym just to work on their heart so they can run around for whiles and not get out of breath. So it's old people do it just to stay in shape or just to keep mobility in their body. So everyone has to go to the gym differently. So that's why I love the gym so much. It's just an atmosphere of different ideas, and people are there for different reasons, but they're all there for the same reasons. Better versions of themselves. And it's also good for the mentality too, man. It gives you something to do, to socialize, and you feel more accomplished after you leave the gym. Hopefully, as long as you're not injured. But yes, you leave the gym, you feel better about yourself. The hormones, dopamine in your body gets flushed out. And then you also get to cheat on your diet a little bit because you had a good workout. Okay, I can have a cheeseburger now and feel guilt free. And that's a great
Aaron
feeling.
and I always say we work out so we can eat.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a great feeling. If you didn't work out, you got a cheeseburger. Oh, you're gonna feel like a piece of shit a little bit. But if you work out, it sounds like I deserve that, and it's a reward for me. Don't do it all the time, but it evens itself out, and it helps your mentality significantly. Just keeping that going.
Yeah, so I have to bring this up in every podcast, but I've been training for a Spartan race.
Ooh, okay.
So I really haven't been doing like too many like heavy squats. I more
Makes
do like I have Atlas stones and some sandbags in my garage,
Okay. Cool.
and I actually do more stuff with that. Where I'll do like even just like a prolonged sandbag carry for like a quarter or half a mile, or just deadlifts using the Atlas stone or sandbags instead. So it's just it's a little different.
Yeah,
But-
no, it's I think strongmen do like the long
Yep.
carries, the yoke and all that. So
Yep.
it's definitely probably the most functional workout you can do, because it's like carrying groceries around. It's like carrying, old times bringing logs of wood to the cabin, whatever it was. So it's do that and do calisthenics, and you'll be ship shop. I did a Spartan race. I was like 19, 18,
Mhm.
just MK to the gym, but it was just a tough mutter. So it wasn't really a Spartan. It was like the little brother of
Mhm.
little brother. Barely even a brother, distant cousin of a Spartan race, but it was really fun. It was climbing walls. It was going from like the ring to the ring. It was probably like 5 miles, if that. I think I did it in English Town. But it was a great time. Obviously, the thing is, was working out. You're able to get your body over the wall. You're able to jump these jumps, because just going to the gym and the activities you're doing, your body just reacts to it. And my brother, who I love, doesn't go to the gym ever. Could he survive a Tough Mudder? I think so. But would he do well with it? I don't know if he could lift himself up. He weighs like 120, maybe at most. So again, it comes back to you go to the gym for a reason. You're training for a reason. Doing a Spartan race is a huge thing to do. So calisthenics, strongman, you'll only the cardio in. So one thing that I didn't realize how bad it was is because it's constant. It don't race. It's
constant cardio
with obstacles. So you make sure your heart is actually able to handle all of that. Do that, you're fine.
I did a Rugged Maniac, which is like probably the baby of everything, but it's like an obstacle course type of race. And I remember I got through like a mile of it, and I was like, oh, I thought I was like 2 or 3 miles in. So because of that, with the Spartan race, which is going to be harder because it's in the Poconos, and they said it's actually the second hardest Spartan race that we signed up for, which I didn't even know.
Oh, you're in for it, bro. You're still in for it.
Yeah.
You need a specific kind of training for this now, definitely.
Yeah, like my cardio has to at least be decent.
Yes. You don't realize the obstacles don't they take a long time, but they don't take the longevity of the race. You said if I were 2-3 miles in, you're only there for a mile, but you did all these obstacles. It's like, oh, that wasn't even part of the race. That was just an obstacle you had to go through. And then you realize like, oh, it's just 2-3 miles I had to do now on top of the 1 mile I already did, which felt like 3 miles. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I would love to do one again. I would have to work my cardio a little bit more because I've been very neglecting that, unfortunately.
Next year we'll sign up.
Yeah, I think so. I think all right. This started the Glute Guys team right here.
Actually, for the one we're doing this year, I'm doing it with like my brother, some of my cousins, a few buddies too, and I named it the Glute Guys, the team.
No, really?
Already established.
What's that?
Our name's on it. I got it. I said our name's on it. I got to do it.
You have to. It's official.
You should have told me that.
I'll do a guest appearance.
Sounds good to me.
There we go.
There you go. I'll work my cardio now, and I'll be okay for next year.
Yeah, I think it's a good time. We get a house, drink some beer after. It'll be great.
Yep, I lost you when I did my last time.
You can't do it before. You're allowed to cheat beers after, Aaron.
Or during.
Or before, pregame with it, and then during, and then after. And now it just feels like a giant blur the whole time. It's like, I did that? That's great. Okay.
I think you'll need just Jameson as your pre-workout. Jameson and a little C4 mixed together for pre-workout. You can just run. You don't even need to run over the walls. You're going to be running through the walls.
Literally running right through it.
I don't even know where the walls are.
See the walls track off the distance, and you get lost. Where is he?
Aaron has become space and time after chugging C4 and Jameson.
Take 1x4 loco at that point.
Yeah, that's basically, we just remade it.
Oh, I miss 4 Locos.
I do not.
The OG ones are the best. I love the OG ones, but they changed the recipes. Not the same. All these new kids.
Bring back the recipe.
My last Four Loco story is not a podcast story.
That's a post-show story, which we can then start to add subscriptions to if you want to hear Aaron's
There you go.
Four Loco stories.
Oh,
Love your
jeez.
stories.
I don't know if I need those to be online.
I think they should be.
Should we put the video up? One of my buddies has it.
Oh, you know what? I want that video sent to me because that sounds like it's a good video.
Yeah, it does.
We're not putting that online.
Subscribers only.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that covers everything there for us. Aaron, was there anything that you wanted to add?
No, I think we're all good. Jake, thank you for coming on. Definitely good to have
We had a
you.
great time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go measure my femurs now to see if that's the reason why I like deadlifting more. So thank you for that. And if they're small, I'll be self-conscious.
I'm going to go think about doing a squat.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Genji.
Femur length and squat. I love that. All right, cool.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.